full scale of sustainability, we have degenerative activities, and then we have regeneration, with sustainability being really in the middle of it all. You know, we could be striving for more than sustainability. We're going beyond sustainability. That's what permaculture is all about. It's going to regenerate a landscape to start being more productive, and that's better for the entire ecosystem, for plants, for animals, for insects, and for human benefit. Berry bushes, nut bushes, perennial vegetables, things like that. So let's start at the beginning. We're sheet mulching this entire 12,000 square foot area over in front of Franklin Dining Commons at UMass. We're going to be growing a permaculture garden. It's going to be acting as a sustainable garden because it's not going to need as many resources, and it's going to be a lot more resistant to drought. So we're taking this no-till gardening method, we're bringing it to UMass, and what we're doing first is we're aerating the soil, reducing the compaction but disturbing the soil a lot less. So then the microorganisms which are already there are not going to go anywhere else, they're just going to get a lot of food added to them, which is what we do next. We add about 4 inches or so of compost. So we're adding that right onto the existing grass, and then we're putting cardboard on top of that. So that cardboard is going to act more as the barrier layer. It's going to prevent the grass, which is underneath there, from coming up. On top of the cardboard, we're putting a mulch layer, and that can be anything from wood chips, which is what we use, to straw, to grass clippings, or yard waste, or garden waste, anything that's going to hold in moisture and hold in nutrients for the plants. Let that sit for about 5 months, and in the spring, you're going to have this great growing medium that plants are just going to thrive in.
The permaculture garden here is a little bit less about nutrients and serving students the food, although that's critical to the education, which I think is the main purpose of this garden.
Students really want to participate. They want to get out there and gain first-hand experience in food growing and working with water in the landscape and in building houses and maintaining all of our human systems. And folks just crave this experience of learning by doing.
Well, part of the location scheme was that it would provide the dining hall, which exists a mere 10 feet away from the lawn, with edible plants on our campus that can feed and nourish our student body for free. And so now what we're attempting to do is grow food all the while growing soil and growing the very land that we live on in an eco-sensitive way.
I think everyone should know how to grow their own food, know that they can do it, and it's not very hard. If everyone has that in their minds when they go to cook dinner every night, it's going to make a huge impact on how our country runs and I think the overall health of people, which is one of the biggest epidemics facing our country is just our food.
We don't have to see up front any of the detrimental impacts of the way that our food is being made. If you're not being forced to face that, you just don't think about it. And students will have to with this project.
American agriculture is really good at one thing, producing cheap food. So there's a lot of it, widely available. And if you have a medium income, it's wonderful. But there's some unintended consequences that come with industrial agriculture. Resource depletion, pollution, and disruption of rural communities particularly. And so we think we can do better. Agricultural sustainability starts to look at some of these issues, but permaculture really takes it home.
Too oftentimes we just look for what's the most expensive and therefore the best solution, but sometimes the best solution starts out with the simplest form. With permaculture, we can simply say, okay, what do we have? What can we use that is completely natural, that is in the air, that is in our plates even as of now, that we can later use on as compost? What do we have now? And I feel like that's the best place to start if you're looking for a solution.
Since this project got started, amazing things have happened. We had over 1,000 volunteers total show up to help in the sheet mulch, the design, and the implementation phases. That included students and staff, as well as local community organizations and local schools. We grew over 1,000 pounds of produce in about 3,500 square feet of bed space, all while transforming a campus unproductive space into one that's thriving and sustainable and educational for the campus community.
I think it's better, I think it tastes better, I think it makes the food look better.
The staff is excited, they're getting fresh herbs and vegetables, the students are excited, they get to produce food for their campus and other students, and the local community is getting a site that's educational, that they can learn from and get ideas and then go out and mimic them in other places.
There are thousands of students who walk by here every single day, students, faculty, and staff. So we can't feed them all, but what we can do is show them a new way of thinking about how land is used and where food is grown and who is growing food. So we can change those paradigms.
And that's sent a pretty big ripple effect out there. People are contacting us from other schools and also from other countries, and it's just been really inspiring.
It just feels good to say, oh, you mean we can actually not just be consumers, but we can actually be creators for what's good for us. And to me, it's about power. I mean, when I wrote Diet for a Small Planet 40 years ago, it was such joy of realizing that I didn't have to be a victim.
I came into this class kind of not knowing what I could do or what my abilities were in terms of making a real impact. And that's kind of shown me, everyone in this class has shown me that if you take the initiative and you have the will and you have the drive, anything is possible.
People are starting to come to UMass because of what we're doing here and how unique and cutting edge of a sustainability program we've developed.
Pretty much all of the students on campus you ask know what permaculture is, and that's actually, I'd say that's pretty unusual. And to have an entire campus of 20,000 plus students who understand the concept, even just at a surface level, is really an accomplishment.
The senior class gift, they pick one project each year that they want to donate their money to, and this year they picked a permaculture garden.
This is nice because it's really small and it's complex because there's a lot happening with these different buildings, different spaces.
It's incredibly compact and rocky. Not even our pickaxe could get through it.
So right now that's kind of the commitment that we're working on, is to do one garden on campus each year, or one permaculture landscape on the campus each additional year. So looking ahead for 30 years, we're going to have more of a campus that is turning into an ecological landscape, ecological campus that's producing food and education for the entire campus community.
The awareness that comes with it, and the sense of power and participation that comes with students growing their own food. I think that's where the big differences will come. It's in helping students recognizing that they can do something about some of the problems in the world by focusing locally, by focusing on their own backyard right here at UMass on the campus.
We can go out and we can really restore these damaged or unproductive ecosystems and start growing food on them and start to strengthen our local communities and strengthen our local economies and make our campuses and our businesses and our homes and our entire lifestyles more sustainable.